Tonight, right-wing candidate Alfredo Cristiani is declaring victory in El Salvador's presidential election. But today's voting was marred by violence as people headed to the polls. Fighting between leftist rebels and government troops has left at least 23 dead, including 3 journalists. Those who did vote were searched by soldiers but braved the polls, seeking change.
Peace, that's all we want, peace.
We expect peace for that, and a better place for living, for our sons, for all the people around.
Observers in El Salvador say a return to the violence of recent years could mean the end of U.S. aid to El Salvador.
And so I think that it's a likelihood that we would.
Early reports say voter turnout was light. It could be midweek before the first shipments of Chilean fruit arrive in the United States under heavy security. The extra security precautions are part of the U.S.-Chilean agreement to allow the sale of that country's fruit in the United States. Last week, federal inspectors found traces of cyanide in 2 grapes in Philadelphia, fruit imported from Chile. That led to a ban of the sale of all Chilean fruit, kiwi, apples, and grapes. President Bush lifted the ban on Friday. The fruit is now being packed and shipped under heavy Navy guard in Chile. A consumer alert from the Surgeon General tonight. C. Everett Koop says apples are safe for children to eat. Despite concern in recent weeks about apples being treated with alar, Koop insists most apples grown in the U.S. are not treated with the cancer-causing pesticide. That may be so, but consumers apparently want greater assurances, and they're willing to pay for them. A nationwide survey finds that 84% of respondents want produce grown without pesticides. 49% say they're willing to even pay extra for organic produce. The survey was conducted for Organic Gardening magazine. Well, we're only hours away from the official start of spring. Admittedly, it's a little cold out there tonight, but maybe this will help you with your frame of mind. It's the 5th annual International Spring Festival. The event was held today at the Connecticut Historical Society in Hartford. There was food, international costumes, dance performances, and gift items on display. About a dozen ethnic groups were represented. And for some, flowers and plants are what it takes for spring to feel like it's really here. This is the annual Spring Flower Show at Hartford's Elizabeth Park. Inside the park's greenhouse are over 2,000 types of plants and 46 varieties of tulips. The show runs through Sunday, March 26th. It's open from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. daily. Pretty nice stuff. Well, up next, the Whalers take on the Bruins in Beantown. Ken Adelson with the highlights and a surprise interview for all you Husky hoop fans coming up next.
Introducing the new BMW 535i, the car that recalibrates the performance sedan benchmark. Now awaits your test drive. Automotive Industries magazine said, the BMW 735i is our clearest glimpse at next century car design. We say, come appreciate the view.
This week, all of us at Finest are ready to help you get ready for Easter with everything from a traditional and delicious dinner bell boneless ham for just $1.69 a pound. To a guaranteed fresh Finest turkey for only 59 cents a pound. And extra large blooming lilies, tulips, hyacinths, and mums, your choice, 2 for $12. Have a wonderful holiday celebration.
Ultra Savers! Ultra Savers from Finest.
For more than 80 years, people have come home to homes with Anderson windows.
Come home.
And while times have changed, our commitment to quality and to the home has not. Which is why today, more people come home to Anderson windows than any other.
Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson.
All I said, dear, was there's too much food in these Encore frozen entrees.
Oh, Herbert.
Are you two arguing about Encore?
Well, he actually expects to finish all those great, big, wonderful helpings of Encore veal parmigiano lasagna.
But Encore is a 2-pound family-size entree. Start a family?
No.
Start with mine. We'll be over tonight, 6:30.
I cannot be expected to finish all of this Encore.
We can. We'll be over tomorrow night, 5:30.
When you want more, it's Encore. If you follow the Whalers, you know they've been a tough team to figure out this year. This weekend, a perfect example. Last night, they get pounded at home by Washington, 8-2. Tonight, they turn it around, they waltz into Boston, and they beat the Bruins at the Garden and play a super game to do it. Here we go to the highlights. Late in the first, the Whalers tie it. Nice passing, Ray Ferraro to John Anderson. And then after that, Ronnie Francis snakes through the defense, and the Whalers are up 2-1. Great move. Third, a freaky goal ties it. From the opposite blue line, Michael Telvin shoots it off Joel Quenneville, and it goes in from about 60 feet, ties it at 2. But late in the third, Ray Ferraro with the game-winning goal. So the Whalers win 3-2 with the win. Hartford, once again, only 2 points behind Buffalo for third place in the old Adams division. Elsewhere in the NHL tonight, Philadelphia by a pair over Toronto. The Islanders lose to Edmonton, and Detroit and Chicago tied at 2 in the third. Well, the first round was full of surprises, but there were none to be found in the entire second round of the NCAA tournament. It's now down to the Sweet 16, as they call it. There were some close calls, though. Notre Dame gave Georgetown their second scare of the weekend. That was LaFonso Ellis putting the Irish up by 6, and Digger Phelps said, hey, we could have the upset here, but Charles Smith finally got hot. This three-pointer put Georgetown ahead for good. John Thompson had a rough weekend, but he came out of it with a victory. Smith had 28 of his 34 points in the second half, 81-74 for the Hoyas. Now, Georgetown will play Jim Valvano and his Wolfpack. State led by Rodney Monroe. Monroe had 40 points this key hoop in the second overtime to beat Iowa, 102-96. Out west, Seton Hall over upstart Evansville. The block, and then watch the little guy, Pookie Wigington. Takes it all the way down the court, puts it into another gear and lays it in. 87-73 Pirates. Next up, they will play Indiana. Bobby Knight waiting for the next bus out of town, I guess.